So President Joe Biden, there's a new book that came out, and they talk about how he's said some pretty harsh things about Fox News behind the scenes. So let's go ahead and take a look here. This is in Mediaite. Joe Biden privately considers Fox News as one of the most destructive forces in the nation, per report. CNN's Brian Stelter obtained a preview of This Will Not Pass, Trump, Biden, and the Battle for America's Future, a book they've co-authored for release in May. Part of the book explores the Biden administration's reaction to what is described as Fox News' torrent of anti-Biden programming, stoking skepticism about vaccines, and disseminating wild conspiracy theories about the January 6th attack. Stelter reports, according to the book, Biden told an unnamed associate in mid-2021 that Murdoch was the most dangerous man in the world. The description comes many chapters into This Will Not Pass, Trump, Biden, and the Battle for America's Future, which comes out in May. The book describes Fox as a torrent of anti-Biden programming, stoking skepticism about the vaccines and disseminating wild conspiracy theories about the January 6th attack. Many Biden allies have denounced Fox for those reasons and have blamed Rupert Murdoch and his son Lachlan, the company's CEO, for enabling hosts like Tucker Carlson. So, a few things to say about this. The first one is, look, he's not wrong. Fox News is horrendous. Fox News is a stain on the country. If you guys remember, well, many of you probably don't remember this, but Fox News was, during the lead up to the Iraq War and during the Iraq War, they were the biggest cheerleaders for it. They would denounce anybody who was against it like they're a traitor, like they're treasonous. And they would do the old conflation of supporting the troops with supporting the war. So in order to quote-unquote support the troops, you had to support the war. They lied relentlessly, or at the very least, they just misled people based on faulty information. And that alone, building the war fever, is as condemnable as it gets. And even if the rest of their record was spot-free and they were wrong on that, it's still like, Jesus Christ, you guys are TFG. They're just a rank propaganda outlet. They do Republican Party propaganda. But the other thing I'd say to Biden is like, did you really expect anything different? And the hilarious answer is he actually did. Biden actually did expect something different because he very famously said, as soon as Trump is gone, the fever will break among Republicans and they'll be more reasonable. Why on earth would you think that? You were vice president under Obama. Under Obama, they broke the filibuster record. They obstructed like nobody's business. They tried to repeal Obamacare 70 times. On what planet did you think all of a sudden Mitch McConnell's going to be like, yeah, Joe Biden, get through whatever you want in the Senate, or that House Republicans would be on your side or some shit, or even some small percentage of them? They hate you. They despise you. So it's just, I don't know, it just strikes me as so incredibly naive on Biden's part to ever think that these people would give him a pass or work with him or whatever. Put America first and, be bipartisan for the sake of everybody. No, of course not. So look, he's right about Fox News. But the also thing is, interestingly, I think he brings up Tucker. I don't think he brought up Hannity. Did he bring up Hannity? I'm not going to go back and check, but I don't know. Why would Hannity get a pass? Now, look, it's possible he said things about Hannity too, so I don't want to act like he didn't, but he's right on the overall point. They're a stain on the country. But here's what he's missing as well. This idea that like, well, Fox News is really bad, but CNN and MSNBC, on the other hand, they're good. Like, now he didn't say they're good. He didn't say it, but he's saving his ire for Fox News only. Now, I would agree if you say Fox News is the worst, I agree with that. But CNN and MSNBC are also preposterously horrendous. I mean, you talk about conspiracy theories around January 6th. True, Fox News are spreading them. One American News and Newsmax are spreading them way worse. But then on the CNN and MSNBC side, they went all in on Russiagate. They genuinely thought James Comey was going to drag Trump out of the White House in handcuffs, and that there was going to be some grand plot uncovered of Trump being Putin's puppet. At the same time, Trump was arming neo-Nazis in Ukraine to be a bulwark against Russia and to fight Russia, and we had NATO troops on Russia's border, and he killed the not Keystone XL pipeline. He's in favor of the Keystone XL pipeline. He killed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which Russia and Germany wanted. So they did conspiracy theories nonstop as well. To only bring up Fox News in this context when the huge scandal around Chris Cuomo and Andrew Cuomo and CNN. I mean, at the same time that Andrew Cuomo was killing grandma by putting her back into the nursing home when she had COVID, so COVID ripped through the nursing homes, he was getting these, puff pieces on CNN, and he was coming on his brother's show where they would joke around and talk about mom's spaghetti and hold giant Q-tips for no apparent reason, and where Chris Cuomo would say to Andrew Cuomo, I think you're the best governor in the country. I mean, deeply corrupt, Me-Tooing about 17,000 people, killing grandma, hiding the fact that they used the wrong material for a bridge, which is dangerous. All these scandals, nowhere to be seen. And CNN was sucking off Andrew Cuomo on the regular. Total journalistic malpractice to have the brother talk to his other brother and act like he's wonderful and not talk about any of the flaws and the downfalls. And the second those flaws come out, all of a sudden he's like, I can't talk about this because I'm biased. Well, you shouldn't have. You were also biased when you were sucking him off daily. Shouldn't have talked to him then either. So this idea of Fox News is bad, and then the others get sort of a pass in the sense that you don't throw them under the bus. Sad. It's sad. And also, by the way, another reason Joe Biden should understand that the others are terrible too. What happened when he pulled out of Afghanistan? The entire media turned on him. CNN and MSNBC were some of the worst. They were acting like the worst thing Biden ever did was end a war. That was the best thing he ever did. And they acted like the sky was falling, and they acted like the position was we should stay there indefinitely. I mean, just total pawns and stooges of the military-industrial complex. That's how they acted. And so I hope he has some hatred for them as well. But yeah, I mean, Biden thinking Fox News is terrible. Correct. Good. Naive to ever think they wouldn't be. And also, I hope he has some hatred for the rest of mainstream media. But look, maybe the reason why they would get a pass in his mind insofar as they do is because they did really help make him president, didn't they? They didn't like him for a long time, but then as soon as it was obvious it was going to be Bernie or Biden, they went after Bernie viciously, just like the other establishment Democrats did. And they really were cheerleading him in that final stretch when Biden started winning primaries. They started cheerleading Biden. And so maybe he still thinks of that, which is why he wouldn't dislike them much at all. So I don't know. But anyway, there you have it. Those are some strong words from Biden when he says Joe Biden privately considers Fox News, quote, one of the most destructive forces in America. I mean, it's true. Think about how much the Fox News propaganda has impacted 30-40% of the country. I mean, Fox News has made it so that a lot of people in this country view Democrats not just as wrong, or liberals or lefties not just as wrong, but evil and an existential threat to the nation. That is what Fox News has done. They've made it so that hyper rigid partisanship and tribalism and hatred of the other side tears us apart. Now, CNN and MSNBC do the mirror image of that with Republicans, but I like the way Crystal puts it and what she says about breaking points. It's let's try to make it so the people hate each other less and hate the elites more. I love that. Because all these networks do is highlight our differences and make the other out to be the enemy, and that has terrible consequences. You do that plus a bunch of sensationalism bullshit, and it's a recipe for people with brainworms, who are incapable of really addressing problems in a serious way. So now I don't want to go too far, it's not the people who are the problem. It really is the elites who are the problem. But what Fox News does and what the other networks do is they talk about the culture war all day, and they make Democrats hate Republicans and Republicans hate Democrats and lefties hate conservatives and conservatives hate lefties, and it's a divide and conquer. They keep us divided. So It's not good. It's not good. So, but anyway, Biden's right on the Fox News thing. I just wish he also criticized CNN and MSNBC. And I do think he was naive to ever think there was any hope for them because they're just a propaganda outlet for the Republican Party. That's all they've ever been. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.